Alright, you ever go back to an old game thinking, man, this was the best thing ever, only to realize, oh no, time has not been kind? Yeah, some games age like fine wine, while others, they turn into expired milk. But today we're talking about the ones that still feel fresh, still look great, and still play like they just came out yesterday. These are the games that refuse to get old, the ones where the graphics still hold up, the gameplay still feels smooth, and the vibes still top tier. Whether it's because of timeless art design, rock solid mechanics, or just straight up magic, these games have something special. You could fire them up today and they'd still blow your mind. Infamous Second Son. Infamous Second Son is one of those games that still looks and plays like it just dropped yesterday. Seriously, this thing came out in 2014, but fire it up today, still gorgeous, still smooth, still an absolute blast to play. First off, the graphics is actually freaking insane. This was one of the first big PS4 games, and even now it looks better than half the stuff coming out today. The way neon lights glow in the rain, how fire and smoke swirl around you, it's also damn pretty. And don't even get me started on Seattle. This city feels alive. Cars moving, people reacting to you, rain hitting the pavement. It's got that real lived-in vibe that makes just running around fun as hell. But man, the real magic is the powers. You play as Delsin Rowe, a rebellious punk who gets superpowers from touching other superpowered people. At first, it's just smoke. You're zipping through vents, dashing in midair, blasting people with freaking fire hands, but then you get neon, and suddenly you're sprinting up buildings like some kind of cyberpunk god. Then video powers, then concrete. Every ability feels completely different, and somehow they all feel ridiculously good to use. And man, the gameplay still holds up so well. Whether you want to be a hero saving civilians and keeping the city clean, or go full villain blasting cops and ruling with an iron fist, the choice is yours, and it actually matters. Your powers change, the story shifts, even people in the city treat you differently. Then there's the movement. Holy, Troy Baker crushes the voice acting, and the whole government hunting down superpowered people plot, still cool as hell. At the end of the day, Infamous Second Son aged like a freaking legend. The visuals, crisp, the gameplay tight, the powers, still some of the most fun you can have in an open world game. You could tell me this was a PS5 remaster and I'd probably believe you. That's how damn well it holds up. Rise of the Tomb Raider. Rise of the Tomb Raider is one of those games that just doesn't get old, like at all. It came out in 2015, but if you told me it was brand new, I'd probably believe you. It still looks insane, plays smooth as butter, and makes you feel like a straight up treasure hunting legend. So let's start with the world. You ever see a game where the snow looks so real you actually feel cold just looking at it? Yeah, this is that game. The way Lara trudges through deep snow, leaving footprints behind, or how her breath is visible in the freezing air. It's all just so freaking detailed. And the best part, it's not just pretty, it actually feels like a real living place. When you're climbing icy cliffs or sneaking through dense forests, the game just pulls you in. And unlike the first game, this one actually has proper tombs. You know the thing a Tomb Raider game should have? They're dark, mysterious, full of tricky puzzles, and every time you solve one, you feel like the smartest person alive. It's like a mix of Indiana Jones, survival skills, and oh crap, how do I get out of here without falling into a pit of spikes? Then, of course, there's Lara herself. She's not just some action hero jumping around for fun. She's on a mission. She's stronger, more confident, but still learning. And yeah, she still gets absolutely wrecked sometimes. Seriously, this girl goes through so much pain, but she never gives up. She's just awesome. And honestly, this game still holds up better than most new ones. It's got beautiful graphics, super fun gameplay, an exciting world to explore, and it just makes you feel like a real adventurer. Whether you're climbing mountains, sneaking through enemy bases, or just messing around with different weapons, it's impossible not to have a blast. Alien Isolation. First off, the atmosphere. This game doesn't just look like an Alien movie, it feels like one. The lighting, the old school tech, the eerie quiet of Sevastopol Station, it's pure vintage sci-fi horror. Every flickering light, every weird noise in the vents, every shadow moving in the corner of your eye, yeah, that's nightmare fuel. And then there's the alien itself. You ever play a horror game where the monster actually learns how to hunt you? Well, congrats, because this thing is smarter than half the people you know. It hears you, tracks you, cuts off your escape routes. You can hide under a desk? Cool. It might just crouch down and freaking look for you. You can run? Yeah, good luck with that. It'll hear you, and then you're dead. There's no safe zone here. And that's what makes the game so freaking tense. You're not some action hero with a big gun, you're just trying to survive. You have to be smart, quiet, and honestly lucky as hell. Every second feels like a gamble. Do you sprint for the next room, or do you hide in a locker and pray the alien doesn't hear your panicked breathing? This game makes you think about every little thing you do, and that's why it still holds up so well. But it's not just about the alien, the story is actually really solid too. You play as Amanda Ripley, Ellen Ripley's daughter, trying to figure out what happened to her mom. The mystery is actually interesting, and as you explore Sevastopol Station, you get to piece together what went wrong, and let's just say things went very wrong. And even after all these years, the graphics still look incredible. The lighting, the way fire spreads, the insane detail in every room, it all still looks top tier. There's no weird outdated animations or ugly textures to break the immersion. It's just pure sci-fi horror done right. So yeah, Alien Isolation aged like a friggin' masterpiece. The fear is still real, the game still looks amazing, and if you somehow haven't played it yet, strap in, turn off the lights, and get ready to scream, because this is still one of the scariest, most intense horror games ever made. The Order, 1886. Okay, so many of you might not even know about this one. Basically, a game killed for being too linear and short. Only if this had costed less, I am sure many more gamers might have considered The Order 1886. But anyway, it is one of those games that people were way too harsh on when it came out. But now, it holds up ridiculously well. If anything, it almost feels like it was ahead of its time. The first thing that hits you is how freaking good it looks. I mean, seriously, this game came out in 2015 and it still looks better than most new releases. The level of detail in the environments is nuts. Walk through the streets of this alternate history London and it feels lived in. The fog, the warm glow of gas lamps, the way rain slicks across cobblestone streets, it all looks straight up cinematic. You could take screenshots of this game and easily mistake them for a big budget film. And then there's the weapons. This game didn't just throw you into Victorian London and give you regular old guns, it made them weird in the best way possible. There's a rifle that shoots flammable powder and you can ignite it mid-air like some mad scientist experiment. The art gun, it basically turns you into Zeus. Every weapon feels handcrafted to fit this steampunk meets gothic world, and even now, they're some of the coolest guns in gaming. The gameplay, it's short and sweet. People complained about the length, but honestly, it plays like a killer action movie. You get these tight, intense shootouts mixed with cinematic moments that still hit hard. The pacing is fast, the cover-based combat feels smooth, and the gunfights, they've got weight to them. It's not some mindless shooter. It actually makes you think about every encounter.
Have eyes on Galahad. Goddamn coach gun. Air Command, do we have any sentinels above our position?
And let's talk about the story. You play as Sir Galahad, a badass knight in a secret order that's been protecting humanity for centuries. Only now, things are getting messy, betrayals, conspiracies, werewolves hunting people in the shadows. It's got that perfect mix of mystery and action, like an old school adventure novel brought to life. And yeah, the ending left people wanting more, but that just proves how strong the world and characters were. Honestly, The Order 1886 deserves a second look. It didn't need to be an open world 100-hour epic. It's a focused, stylish, beautifully crafted game that still feels fresh today. If you skipped it before, now's the perfect time to dive in. The Last of Us. The Last of Us isn't just a game, it's an experience. One of those rare lightning in a bottle moments where everything clicks so perfectly that even after all these years, it still feels like it could have come out yesterday. First off, let's talk about that world. This isn't your usual zombie apocalypse setting where everything is just grim and gray. Nah, this world has history. Cities are falling apart, nature is reclaiming everything, and every abandoned building tells a story. You walk through an old home and you don't just see broken furniture, you see a life that was left behind. The details are insane, and it makes every step through this ruined America feel hauntingly real. And then there's Joel and Ellie. A lot of games have good characters, but these two, they feel human. You don't just watch their journey, you live it. Joel isn't some invincible action hero, he's tired, broken, and just trying to survive. Ellie isn't some helpless kid, she's smart, tough, and has one of the best personalities in gaming. Their conversations, the way they argue, the little jokes Ellie cracks to break the tension, it all feels so real. And that's what makes the emotional gut punches hit so damn hard. Now let's talk about the gameplay. Every fight in this game feels intense. Ammo is scarce, enemies are brutal, and if you mess up, you're dead. But that's what makes every encounter feel so freaking personal. When you take someone down, it's not just another random enemy, it's survival. And don't even get me started on the clickers. The second you hear that awful clicking sound, you know you're screwed. You either move carefully or prepare for pure chaos. And even today, this game still holds up like crazy. The storytelling, the voice acting, the animations, it's all top tier. Even if you play the original version without any fancy remaster, it still looks and plays like something that could have been made yesterday. The Last of Us isn't just a game that aged well, it never aged at all. It's still one of the most powerful, emotional, and gripping experiences in gaming. If you've played it, you already know, and if you haven't, you're in for something special.
Come on, Sam! Is that thing steady? Steady as anything else?
Uncharted 4. Uncharted 4 is the kind of game that makes you sit back and say, damn, they don't make them like this anymore. And honestly, it still looks and plays so well that if it dropped today, no one would even question it. From the very first moment, you know you're in for something special. This isn't just another action game, it's an adventure. The kind of story where every moment feels like it belongs in a blockbuster movie. You've got massive set pieces, crazy chase sequences, intense shootouts, and of course, Nathan Drake doing things that should have killed him 20 times over. But what really makes it stand the test of time is how freaking good everything still looks. This game came out in 2016, and yet somehow it still looks so good. It's crazy how Naughty Dog pulled this off on the PS4. The lighting, the environments, the insane level of detail, it's all just next level. Whether you're climbing through ancient ruins, dodging bullets in the jungle, or driving through the muddy streets of Madagascar, it all feels real. And the gameplay? It's smooth as hell. Climbing feels natural, the gunplay is punchy, and the stealth mechanics actually give you some freedom to approach fights however you want. And let's be real, swinging around on Drake's grappling hook never stops being fun. But what really makes Uncharted 4 legendary is the story. This isn't just another treasure hunt, it's personal. Drake's older brother Sam shows up after years of being presumed dead, pulling Nate back into the kind of life he thought he left behind. The way they handle Nate's relationships, especially with Elena, feels so damn real. You actually care about these characters, and that makes the stakes feel huge. And when you finally get to that final treasure after all the insane stunts, emotional gut punches, and near-death escapes, it feels freaking earned. This game hasn't aged a day. It's still the king of cinematic action adventure, still one of the most visually stunning games ever made, and still one of the best stories in gaming. If you somehow haven't played it yet, you're seriously missing out.
Well, I used to live nearby.
The Metro Last Light. Metro Last Light is the kind of game that just pulls you into its world and refuses to let go. It's dark, it's intense, and somehow, even after all these years, it still feels way ahead of its time. First off, the atmosphere is freaking insane. This isn't your typical post-apocalyptic world where everything is just dust and ruins. Nah, this is the Metro, the underground tunnels of Moscow, where the last scraps of humanity are barely hanging on. You've got flickering lights, dripping pipes, eerie silence. Everywhere you go feels like something could jump out at you, and when you finally step onto the surface, it's worse. The world is dead, toxic, and full of things that want to rip your face off. But what makes Last Light special isn't just the setting, it's how it plays. This is a shooter, sure, but it's not the kind of game where you just run around guns blazing. Bullets are valuable, your gas mask can break, and every fight feels like life or death. And those quiet moments where you're just sneaking through tunnels, hearing distant echoes and whispers in the dark, chills, man. Freaking chills. And the story? It's not just about survival. It's about hope, fear, and making impossible choices. You play as Artyom, a guy trying to do the right thing in a world where right barely exists anymore. Every faction in the Metro has their own agenda, and no matter what you do, you feel the weight of every decision. You're not just playing, you're living in this world. Even today, Metro Last Light holds up like a beast. The lighting, the weather effects, the way the world reacts to your presence, it still looks incredible. And if you play the Redux version, it's even better. If you've never played this one, you're missing out on one of the best, most immersive shooters ever made. And if you have, it's probably time for another trip into the Metro. Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3 is one of the best Ubisoft games. Well, now we all know the state of modern Ubisoft, and it's kind of sad to see what amazing bangers they used to make years ago. Even now, years later, it still holds up like an absolute beast. Some people might say it's the best in the series, and honestly, they ain't wrong. The second you crash onto Rook Island, you know something's off. It's beautiful, crystal clear water, massive jungles, and sunshine for days. But it doesn't take long before you realize, oh crap, this place is completely messed up. Pirates, drug lords, slave traders, and crazy mercenaries. This island chews people up and spits them out. And right in the middle of all this, you, Jason Brody, just some rich, soft tourist who suddenly has to become a warrior to survive. And the best part, you actually feel that transformation. You go from panicking when you first pick up a gun to becoming an absolute predator, silently wiping out entire enemy camps with just a bow and some sneaky takedowns. But let's talk about Voss. Oh man, this dude isn't just another bad guy, he's one of the greatest villains in gaming, period. He's insane, but not in that over-the-top cartoony way. Nah, this dude is scary because he feels real. Every time he talks, you feel trapped, like you don't know what he's gonna do next. That one monologue about the definition of insanity, iconic. You never know whether he's about to laugh or put a bullet in your skull. And that keeps you on edge the entire game. And the gameplay? Still smooth as hell. The combat is just chef's kiss. Guns feel powerful, stealth is actually fun, and the takedown system, brutal in the best way. And the world, it's pure chaos. One second you're sneaking up on a group of enemies, the next, a tiger jumps out of nowhere and does the job for you. Or maybe you accidentally set an entire field on fire while trying to take down an outpost. Stuff just happens in Far Cry 3, and it's always awesome. BioShock Infinite. The story, the world, the insane moments that leave you staring at the screen in shock. This is one of those games that sticks with you. Right from the jump, you know this isn't your average shooter. You're Booker DeWitt, a guy with serious debts and an even more serious job. Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt. The girl? Elizabeth. The place? Colombia. A city floating in the frickin' sky. And let me tell you, Colombia is breathtaking. It's not some ruined wasteland like Rapture in the first BioShock. Now, at first, it looks like paradise. Bright skies, beautiful buildings, people walking around in old-timey outfits, a barbershop quartet singing Beach Boys songs. It's all perfect. Too perfect! And then you realize, oh, this place is seriously messed up. Colombia might look like a utopia, but it's built on racism, violence, and crazy religious zealots. And the more you dig, the worse it gets. Before you know it, you're fighting for your life against a city that wants you dead. The enemies are brutal, the leaders are corrupt, and the whole place feels like it's on the edge of collapsing. But the real star of the show? Elizabeth. She's not just some NPC who follows you around. She's one of the best characters in gaming. She reacts to the world, throws you supplies in combat, and actually feels like a real person. You start the game trying to protect her, but by the end, you're the one who needs her. And when the story finally comes together, mind blown. Gameplay-wise, still holds up like a beast. The skyhook system makes combat fast, fun, and chaotic as hell. One second you're zipping across the skyline, the next you're throwing fireballs and summoning crows to tear through enemies. And the gunplay? Still solid. There's just so much variety in how you take on fights, it never gets boring. And that ending? Dude, if you've played it, you know. If you haven't, buckle up. It's one of those twists that completely changes everything and sticks in your brain long after the credits roll. Even now, BioShock Infinite still feels like a masterpiece. The story, incredible. The world, stunning. The gameplay, fast and fun. It's the kind of game you play once, then spend weeks thinking about. And honestly, it's still one of the best damn games ever made. Mad Max. Mad Max is one of those games that people seriously slept on. It came out at the wrong time, got overshadowed by bigger releases, and kinda got buried. But guess what? Years later, it still friggin' holds up. In fact, it's better than ever. First off, the world is pure, beautiful chaos. If you've ever seen a Mad Max movie, you already know what to expect. A wasteland filled with lunatics, dust storms, and cars that double as death machines. The game absolutely nails that feeling. The open world isn't packed with random side quests and endless map markers like some Ubisoft-style checklist. It's raw, dangerous, and brutal. Every time you hit the road, you don't know what's coming. Maybe it's a gang of raiders trying to ram you off a cliff, maybe it's a deadly sandstorm that forces you to take cover, or maybe it's just you, the road, and the sound of your engine roaring across the desert. And speaking of engines, the driving in this game is incredible. The Magnum Opus, your custom-built car, is basically your best friend in the wasteland. You upgrade it with spikes, armor, nitro boosts, even a freaking harpoon to rip enemies out of their vehicles. Car combat is brutal and satisfying. Smashing an enemy off the road, pure chef's kiss perfection. Watching their car explode in the rearview mirror never gets old. but it's not all just about the cars. The hand-to-hand combat feels like Arkham-style brawling, but way nastier. Max is a brawler, not a ninja, so fights feel gritty, heavy, and raw. Every punch, every counter, every bone-making finisher, it all feels brutal as hell, and when you combine that with the survival mechanics, scavenging for fuel, food, and water, it really makes you feel like you're struggling to survive in this wasteland. And yeah, the story isn't trying to be some deep emotional journey. It's Mad Max, it's about revenge, survival, and one guy trying to stay alive in a world that wants him dead. Max barely speaks, but you don't need him to. His actions say it all. Honestly, Mad Max has aged like fine frickin' wine. The graphics still look gorgeous, the open world still feels alive in its own bleak way, and the gameplay, still a frickin' blast. If you love car combat, brutal fights, and the feeling of tearing through the wasteland like a true road warrior, this game deserves another shot. Quantum Break. Quantum Break is one of the most underrated games ever. It's got time travel, insane action, a mind-bending story, and even a freaking live-action TV show baked right into it. Yet Remedy really went all out with this one, and honestly, it still holds up amazingly well. You play as Jack Joyce, a guy who gets caught up in a massive time experiment gone wrong. Long story short, time is breaking. 1 second everything's normal, the next the world is glitching, freezing, rewinding, absolute chaos. And Jack, he's got some wild time-based superpowers thanks to the experiment. So while the bad guys at Monarch Solutions are trying to control time for their own shady reasons, you're out here stopping time, dodging bullets, and absolutely wrecking fools in the coolest way possible. Let's talk combat. It's freaking incredible. This isn't just some basic cover shooter. You're bending time to your advantage. You can freeze enemies mid-shot, blink around the battlefield, create time shields, and even throw explosive time bubbles that detonate when you shoot them. It's like playing a mix of Max Payne and The Flash. Every fight feels fast, stylish, and crazy fun, but Quantum Break isn't just about action. The story is straight up wild. It's got twists, betrayals, and some of the best time travel storytelling in gaming. And the best part? You actually get to shape the story. After each big chapter, the game gives you these junction choices where you decide how things play out, and depending on what you choose, the next part of the game and even the live-action TV episodes will change. Visually, still stunning. The way time fractures and distorts the world looks crazy even now. Story-wise, still one of the best sci-fi narratives out there, and the gameplay, fast, smooth, and ridiculously fun. Quantum Break deserved way more love than it got. It's ambitious, unique, and does things no other game has done since. If you haven't played it, fix that. If you have, maybe it's time to jump back in and break time all over again.
Adam, it's David. You in the
Deus Ex Human Revolution. Deus Ex Human Revolution is the kind of game that sneaks up on you. At first you're like, oh cool, a cyberpunk RPG with stealth and shooting, but then before you know it, you're deep in conspiracies, hacking security systems, and debating the future of human evolution like some kind of futuristic philosopher. Yeah, this game hits different. You play as Adam Jensen, a guy who didn't ask for this literally. He starts off as just another security dude for a big biotech company, but after a brutal attack that nearly kills him, he wakes up with a full body upgrade. We're talking robot arms, night vision, built-in hacking tools, the ability to punch through walls. Straight up cyborg Batman stuff. And from there, you're thrown into a world of corporate espionage, black market cybernetics, and government conspiracies that go way deeper than you ever expected. What makes this game so damn special is how much freedom you have. Want to play it like a stealthy hacker, slipping past guards and sneaking into places you shouldn't be? Go for it. Prefer to talk your way through situations and use persuasion instead of bullets? That works too. But if you're feeling a little more Terminator mode, you can absolutely go in guns blazing and wreck everyone. The game doesn't punish you for playing how you want, it actually adapts to your choices. And then there's the world. This isn't some random cyberpunk city. It feels lived in. The neon lights, the rain-soaked streets, the constant debate about human augmentation. It all feels real, and the way people react to you, that depends on your choices. Are you a cold-blooded mercenary or a guy just trying to do the right thing? The game never forces a single path, which is what makes it so freaking immersive. Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs is one of the most badass open world games ever, and it still holds up like a freaking champ. If you've never played it, imagine GTA mixed with classic kung fu action movies set in the neon lit streets of Hong Kong. Yeah, it's as awesome as it sounds. You play as Wei Shen, an undercover cop who gets deep, and I mean deep, into the Hong Kong triads. The dude is basically a one-man wrecking crew. He's got to balance his loyalty between the police and the criminals, and that means doing some seriously shady stuff to keep his cover. It's a crime story with actual weight, where you start caring about these ruthless gangsters even as you're supposed to be taking them down. But let's talk about the real reason this game slaps: the combat. Forget guns for a second. This game's hand-to-hand fighting is straight up legendary. Think Batman Arkham style brawling, but with brutal martial arts moves straight out of a Jackie Chan flick. You can counter, dodge, grapple, and even use the environment in the most painful ways possible. Slamming a dude's head into an air conditioning unit? Yep. Tossing a guy into a fish tank? Done. Crushing someone with a car door? Why the hell not? And then there's the driving. The streets of Hong Kong are tight, packed, and full of chaos. Every chase feels like a freaking movie scene. You can leap from car to car, shoot tires out in slow motion, and pull off high-speed stunts that make you feel like a total legend. It's over the top, ridiculous, and so fun. But what really makes Sleeping Dogs special is the world itself. Hong Kong isn't just a backdrop, it feels alive. Neon signs glow over rain-soaked streets, markets are packed with people, and every alleyway hides something interesting. The game isn't as big as GTA, but it's dense, detailed, and full of personality. And the side missions, you'll be racing, gambling, doing cop work, and even mastering martial arts at a dojo. There's never a dull moment. Sleeping Dogs deserved a sequel. It never got one, which sucks, but it still stands as one of the best open-world crime games ever made. If you haven't played it, fix that. And if you have, you already know it's always worth another round.
Wait, you are hardcore. You beat that like it was nothing.
Spec Ops: The Line. Spec Ops: The Line is not what you think it is. You start the game expecting a typical military shooter, big explosions, slow motion headshots, and some tough guy soldier dialogue. But then it pulls the rug out from under you, slaps you in the face, and asks, "Are you really the hero here?" You play as Captain Martin Walker, leading a small squad into a ruined, sandstorm-covered Dubai to track down a missing commander, Colonel John Conrad. At first, it seems like just another mission. Go in, find the guy, get out. But pretty soon, everything starts falling apart. The deeper you go, the worse it gets. The people you thought were enemies might not be. The things you're doing in the name of justice start feeling really freaking wrong. And by the time you realize what's happening, it's too late to turn back. Gameplay-wise, yeah, it's a solid third-person shooter. Cover, shoot, repeat, but let's be real, that's not why people remember this game. It's the story, the choices, the slow unraveling of everything you thought was true. It forces you into horrible situations where there are no good answers. And the worst part, you're the one pulling the trigger. There's one moment, the moment that hits like a truck. If you've played it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, brace yourself. This game doesn't hold your hand, it breaks you. And the thing is, Spec Ops: The Line never glorifies war. It's not about being the badass action hero. It makes you question everything you've done. By the end, you don't feel powerful, you feel guilty, confused, maybe even sick. And that's the point. It's been over a decade, and no other military shooter has done what this game did. It's bold, it's brutal, and it's one of the most unforgettable stories in gaming. If you haven't played it, don't go in expecting Call of Duty. Go in ready to see just how far a game can push you. Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas is what happens when a game gives you total freedom, then watches you dig your own grave with it. Seriously, this isn't just a game, it's a full-blown choose-your-own disaster simulator. You can be a hero, a villain, a wild card, or just some dude wandering the desert looking for a new pair of sunglasses. And it all works! You start off dead, well, almost. Some suit-wearing sleazebag shoots you in the head and leaves you in a ditch. But guess what? You survive, because you're built different. So you climb out of that grave, dust yourself off, and set out to figure out who tried to kill you, and what the hell is actually going on in the Mojave Wasteland. And let me tell you, this world is a freaking mess. There are 3 major factions all clawing for control over New Vegas. The NCR, basically a struggling democracy that means well but can't stop tripping over itself. Caesar's Legion, a bunch of brutal slavers who think ancient Rome had the right idea. And Mr. House, a creepy billionaire running Vegas from a vault full of robots. None of them are 100% good or bad, so it's up to you to decide who, if anyone, deserves to run the show. But the best part? The game doesn't force you into anything. You can side with whoever, betray whoever, or even just say screw it and take over New Vegas for yourself. Every choice matters, and you will feel the consequences. Help a town defend itself? Maybe they thrive, maybe they get wiped out anyway. Every mission, every side quest, everything you do changes the world. And then there's the writing. New Vegas isn't just full of NPCs, it's full of characters. Whether it's Yes Man, the world's most enthusiastic robot, or Joshua Graham, the burned up warlord who talks like he just stepped out of the Bible, everyone has a story. And sometimes the best moments in the game aren't even about big battles or game-changing choices. They're just about stumbling into some weird little side story in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it's a little janky. It's a Bethesda game not even made by Bethesda, so you already know some weird glitches are gonna happen. But who cares when a game gives you this much freedom, this much personality, and this much replayability? A few bugs are just part of the charm. Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 isn't just a game, it's a full-on, high-stakes sci-fi masterpiece that drags you in and doesn't let go. It's got guns, space battles, aliens, romance, betrayals, and some of the best character writing in gaming. It's everything great about sci-fi packed into one insane mission where literally everyone could freaking die. You play as Commander Shepard, badass space hero and professional problem solver, usually by shooting things. After getting straight up killed in the opening, you get brought back to life by Cerberus, a shady organization with deep pockets and even deeper secrets. They want you to investigate the Collectors, a mysterious alien race kidnapping entire human colonies. And yeah, it's just as bad as it sounds, but the real magic? Your crew. This isn't just some faceless squad you take into battle. These are some of the best characters ever put in a video game. You've got Garrus, the smooth-talking, sharp-shooting Turian, Morden, the fast-talking scientist who can kill you with both a gun and a lecture, Jack, a full-on biotic wrecking ball with enough attitude to punch through a spaceship, and Thane, a freaking space assassin who somehow manages to be both deadly and poetic. And that's just a few of them. Every character has their own story, their own problems, their own missions, and you need to earn their loyalty before the big finale because let's be real, the suicide mission is one of the greatest finales in gaming history. You spend the whole game preparing for it, recruiting the right people, upgrading your ship, making tough calls, and when it finally happens, every single choice you made comes back to haunt you. Screw up and people die. Maybe a few, maybe everyone. And there's no going back. But what really makes this game special? The choices. Every decision you make carries weight, not just here, but in the entire trilogy. Who lives, who dies, who you romance, who you piss off, it all follows you, and the game never forgets. Mass Effect 2 isn't just a must-play, it's one of those games that sticks with you forever. If you haven't played it, you're missing out on one of the greatest sci-fi stories ever told. And if you have, you already know it's time for another run GTA 4. GTA 4 is a different kind of Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, it's still got the open world chaos, the car chases, the shootouts, and all the ridiculous stuff that makes a GTA game fun, but at its core, it's actually a dark, emotional story about chasing the American dream and watching it fall apart. You play as Niko Bellic, a war veteran from Eastern Europe who comes to Liberty City looking for a fresh start. He thinks he's getting a life of riches and success thanks to his cousin Roman, but the second he steps off the boat, he realizes Roman's full of crap. No mansions, no luxury cars, just a rundown apartment and a mountain of debt. And just like that, Niko is pulled into a world of crime, betrayal, and violence all over again. And let's talk about Liberty City. This place feels alive. The rain-soaked streets, the honking traffic, the late-night radio chatter. It's not just a backdrop, it's a character in itself. You can hang out with friends, go bowling, watch terrible in-game TV shows, even get drunk and stumble around like an idiot. It's got this gritty, realistic vibe that no other GTA really captured. The story? Way heavier than past GTA games. Niko isn't out here for fun. He's haunted by his past, looking for revenge, and just trying to survive in a city that doesn't give a damn about him. And Rockstar nailed it. The writing, the voice acting, the little moments of quiet sadness between all the chaos, it all hits different. And the gameplay? Chunky, weighty, deliberate, cars feel heavy, guns have real kick, and you're not some superhero who can shrug off bullets. Niko stumbles, cars spin out, shootouts are messy. It's all more grounded than later GTA games, and that's part of what makes it special. By the time you reach the ending, you're not just playing a game, you're watching a man's entire life spiral out of control, and that final choice, it freaking hurts. Some people love GTA 5 more because it's bigger, faster, and flashier. But GTA 4 has a soul. It's rougher, grittier, and hits way harder emotionally. If you've never played it, you're missing out on one of Rockstar's most powerful stories, and if you have, maybe it's time to take another ride through Liberty City. Just maybe don't answer Roman's calls about bowling this time. Just Cause 2. Just Cause 2 is pure, unfiltered chaos in video game form. It doesn't care about deep storytelling, emotional character arcs, or serious drama. It cares about one thing: blowing stuff up in the most ridiculous ways possible. And honestly, that's freaking beautiful. You play as Rico Rodriguez, a one-man army with a grappling hook, an unlimited supply of parachutes, and absolutely zero regard for the laws of physics. Your mission? Overthrow a corrupt dictator on the massive island of Panau. How do you do it? By causing as much destruction as humanly possible. Blow up fuel depots, hijack helicopters, crash planes into radio towers. The bigger the explosion, the better. And let's talk about that grappling hook. This thing is a game changer. You can hook onto cars, buildings, helicopters, enemies, you name it. Attach a bad guy to a gas tank and shoot it. He rockets into the sky like Team Rocket. Grapple onto a plane mid-flight. Now you're the pilot. The game basically asks, what insane stunt do you want to pull off? And then lets you freaking do it. The world of Panau? Absolutely massive. Jungle, desert, snowy mountains, bustling cities, it's all here. And because Rico has infinite parachutes and the best grappling hook in gaming history, you don't even need roads. Screw driving, just fling yourself across the island like an action movie legend. Just Cause 2 is one of those games where you boot it up, start messing around, and suddenly it's 5 hours later. It's pure mayhem, pure fun, and it never takes itself too seriously. If you just want to cause destruction, pull off impossible stunts, and make Michael Bay movies look boring, this game is a freaking masterpiece. Prey 2017. Prey 2017 is one of those games that completely sucks you in without you even realizing it. You start playing, thinking you'll check it out for a bit, and the next thing you know, the sun is coming up and you're questioning reality. It's that freaking good. You play as Morgan Yu, a scientist working on a massive space station called Talos 1. Everything seems normal until it isn't. Turns out the station is completely overrun by the Typhon, a creepy, shape-shifting alien species that can disguise themselves as literally anything. That coffee cup on the table? Yeah, it might freaking kill you. What makes Prey so addicting is how it throws you into this broken, hostile world and just lets you figure things out. There's no hand-holding, you're constantly scavenging, hacking, upgrading, and deciding how you want to play. Want to fight your way through with shotguns and EMP grenades? Go for it. Want to sneak past enemies and hack your way into locked rooms? That works too. Want to inject yourself with alien powers and start throwing objects with your mind? Hell yeah. And speaking of powers, this game gives you some wild abilities. You can mimic objects like the aliens do, meaning yes, you can literally turn into a coffee cup and roll your way past enemies, or you can set traps, blast enemies with psychic energy, or even control their minds. But the more alien abilities you use, the more the station starts treating you like a threat. Security systems stop recognizing you as human, and suddenly the station's turrets are blasting you on sight.
Administrative controls on workstations or keypads may result in electric.
Every decision changes the way the game plays out. The best part is that Talos 1 is a freaking masterpiece of level design. It's basically one giant puzzle box full of hidden passages, locked doors, and multiple ways to approach every situation. You might find a key card for a door, or you might just stack some chairs and climb through a vent, or maybe you find a secret tunnel that leads to something even crazier. Every time you explore, you find something new. And the story, oh man, it starts off interesting, but by the time you hit the final act, your brain is gonna explode. Twists, betrayals, insane revelations, it's all here. And depending on the choices you made, your ending could play out in completely different ways. If you love games that let you think for yourself, reward curiosity, and keep you on edge the entire time, Prey is a must-play. It's like a mix of BioShock, Deus Ex, and System Shock, but still its own thing. And once you finish it, you'll be thinking about it for a long freaking time.